Without further ado, because we've got a good program ahead of us today, number one, I want to thank the candidates personally for putting themselves out there in the public, the time that they spend, the ridicule that they take, the phone calls that they get from idiots. Yes, there's some of those out there that call too. And then from their supporters. But thank you for what you do and putting yourself out to stand for election. Brandon Davis, our moderator for today, will take over.
And distinguished guests, Kiwanians, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kiwanis Club of Kingsport Sullivan County Candidate Forum. Kiwanians value our strong heritage and our commitment to civic responsibility and to our mission of providing service to this community, one child, one community at a time, but also as we unite worldwide in serving the children of the world. As was mentioned, I'm Mary Lee Davis, and it is my pleasure to serve as moderator for today's forum. I would like our candidates for trustee to come forward and take their seats at this time. The guidelines for our forum are as follows. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to make an introductory statement, 2 minutes to respond to each of the forum questions, and then 2 minutes for their closing statement. Our timekeeper is our respected Admiral John McKinley. And at this time, he will demonstrate for the candidates how he will let each speaker know with a 15-second warning. And then, if needed, a time's up signal. Thank you, Admiral. We are delighted that both candidates for the Sullivan County trustee position are with us today. Susan Ramsey and Angela Taylor. And that Calvin Clifton, candidate for Sullivan County Highway Commissioner, joins us as well. Who? The other Highway Commissioner candidate, Scott Murray, had an out-of-town scheduling conflict. Ladies and gentlemen, all 4 of those candidates that I have mentioned and those 2 offices are on the ballot for the May 3rd Republican primary. We will begin with opening statements from the candidates for Sullivan County trustee, beginning with Angela Taylor and then Susan Ramsey, respectfully.
Good afternoon. I'm Angela Taylor. I'm not accustomed to speaking to big groups of people, so I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today and answer some of your questions. My family's not involved in politics, but I am someone who wants to ensure county residents that they will receive competent, courteous, and professional services if I'm elected trustee. I'm a lifelong resident of Sullivan County. I have 22 years of experience in county government. 14 of those years I've served as executive assistant to the county mayor. I hold a Bachelor of Arts degree in paralegal from Virginia Intermont. I enjoy helping the county residents. My job now involves a lot of public relations skills. There's a card on your table that tells you more about my personal beliefs and background, and I encourage you to check out my website. Some of the things I would like to do, if chosen to be trustee, I would like to see the offices in Bristol and Kingsport reopened. I think that would be a convenience to many taxpayers. I want to be accessible and provide professional and in a courteous way to the Sullivan County taxpayers. And I would appreciate you all considering me when you go to vote. Thank you. Ms. Ramsey.
I want to thank you all for the opportunity to serve as your trustee for the last 4 years. It's been my honor to serve the citizens of Sullivan County. I'd like to take a minute to give you an insight of what these years have meant to me. Valuable, because it's given me the opportunity to learn a new job, to face the challenges that were put before me, and to learn from the citizens what they wanted, needed, and expected from the trustee's office. It gave me the opportunity to learn the strengths and weaknesses of the office, and to set goals for myself and the employees in an effort to maximize our efficiencies and accountability, and to provide excellent customer service. Rewarding. The rewarding part is what I've received from being the Sullivan County trustee. The rewards of a happy thank you at the end of a telephone conversation with a citizen who is having difficulties paying their property tax. The rewards of an elderly gentleman walking into our office with a cake to thank our office and a certain employee for taking the time to assist them with his tax relief form. And an email from a citizen giving me thanks for being dedicated to my job because I'd answered an email on a Sunday afternoon. Successful. Successful has been getting to the end of a difficult, busy month and knowing you're in balance with the finance office, and getting to the end of a fiscal year, going through a yearly state audit, and hearing that your audit was excellent. And lastly, successful is getting to the end of my first 4 years in office and seeing that together with my dedicated staff, we have exceeded my expectations of what we could achieve in just 4 years. Thank you for 4 valuable, rewarding, and successful years. I would greatly appreciate your support to continue to serve as your Sullivan County trustee.
Thank you. And we'll now begin our questioning, starting with Ms. Ramsey, and we're going to alternate on each question to give each candidate an opportunity to be the first person to respond. So the first question is, what are 2 improvements that you would like to see continued in the trustee office?
I would like to see us continue our improvements in our technology. As the generations change, we too have to keep up with what the generations want. And when I came into office, that was one of our weak points. So we have made vast improvements. It's improved our time for customer service, our time management, our accountability, our transparency. The other thing that I would like to see improve is I would love to have a drive-through window for Bluntville, but that I don't think is going to happen. The courthouse is old and it's just not feasible to have drive-through service. I think that it would really accommodate the citizens that choose to come to Bluntville.
All right, thank you. Ms. Taylor.
As far as improvements I would like to make, I agree with Ms. Ramsey. Keeping up with current technology is very important to providing the best services. Again, I would like to see the offices in Kingsport and Bristol reopen. I believe that those offices are needed. There are many folks that participate in the tax relief program. That is something that needs to be done in the office. Those in the tax relief program are those folks who are on low to fixed incomes, and many of those folks don't have access to a car, and they use public transportation, and you can't make it to Bluntville with public transportation. So I just feel that's important. Also, Ms. Ramsey implemented using Bank of Tennessee to do payments, and I think that's wonderful. For the mom in her minivan with 3 kids, yes, I wouldn't want to unload everybody and go in somewhere. So the drive-through, drop that payment off is great for those folks. I would like to see more accuracy and timeliness brought to keeping the records in the county. up to date. But mainly those offices, I just feel like they really service the residents of Sullivan County. Sometimes you need to walk in and ask a question, and you need that trustee, someone in the office to answer that question. Someone at the bank can't do that. So I just ask that you consider that when you go to vote.
And you can just stay standing because, as I said, we're going to alternate. The question will be phrased slightly different for each candidate. In your case, what would you like to do to improve property taxes being paid sooner and/or on time?
I feel it's important that you get the tax notices out as soon as possible. That means getting the information to the state so it can be processed. Giving people the opportunity, again, the different options of opening the offices, different locations to pay their taxes. Some people, online is great. Again, the Bank of Tennessee, wonderful. Others want to come into the office. They want to have that receipt in their hand. All those things, I believe, encourage people to pay their taxes on time. So those are the kinds of things I would look at. And also the opportunity and the promotion of being able for those on a lower or fixed income to do partial tax payments. Make that known. Let them know they can break it down. Let them go ahead and get a fourth of that in. So that would bring the money in faster. Thank you.
Ms. Ramsey, the question is restated just a bit for you. What have you done to improve property taxes being paid sooner and or on time?
As far as getting the property notice, the tax notices out, a lot of that depends on the assessor's office. They have to download all the information to the state of Tennessee first in an effort for the state to send us the tax rolls. So as soon as those tax rolls are loaded, we get those notices sent out. As far as getting the money in sooner, it's kind of seasonal the way that it works, and I don't know that you can encourage someone to pay faster than what they choose to do, but as far as getting more money to come in, I have taken the opportunity to send out a reminder notice in the months of May and June of every year for those people who don't remember or could not afford to pay at the time when our tax deadline hits in February. So we have made every effort that we can to try to collect. And that's one of the most difficult things that you face, is that there are those who just can't afford to pay. And we do take partial payments. We've done that for years. And there's always someone asking, what can we do? Can I set up a payment plan? Well, state statute won't allow you to do just only certain things. You can't prepay, but just maybe for a year ahead of time. We've never had the option in Sullivan County of prepayment, but we've been working with Representative Halsey on an opportunity to get that done. So the event that people that can afford to and want to, that they can prepay ahead of time, and we will apply those when the tax rolls are loaded.
Thank you. What does the trustee, or how does the trustee ensure maximizing the return on idle funds while acting under state law?
That can be difficult, especially right now. There's no interest to be earned anywhere. Our responsibilities as to how we bank is limited through state audit, through state statute. We make a point to spread our money among many banks across Sullivan County, and it is the trustees, one of the responsibilities is to bid those banks out to get the best customer service. And when I say customer service, that is what we can get back, what they can provide to us at no cost. And So we work with every opportunity, every bank that we can. You cannot invest those funds in a credit union. You have to stay with just the banks. So it can be difficult, especially right now. But you have to watch, you have to manage, you have to choose between CDs and investments, and it's just, right now, it's a very difficult time to gain any return on our investments.
Thank you. How does the trustee ensure maximizing the return on idle funds? And again, ladies and gentlemen, that's money that's not been invested, while acting under state law.
I would agree with Ms. Ramsey. You must abide by the state law when you're investing funds. Again, utilizing and asking for different, for lack of a better word, quotes from the banks as to what interest rate they can provide you, what terms they can provide you is very important. The investments right now, I believe, are being handled outside of the trustee's office. So I would want to bring those back under the trustee's office. And I would also want to gain the knowledge I need to invest those properly. Thank you.
Thank you. And do you feel the trustee's office has done a good job of informing the public who is eligible for property tax relief and what they need to do in order to get it?
From speaking with people outside the office, I believe the property tax relief program could be promoted more. I believe radio announcements, newspaper advertisements could reach a lot more people. I believe those folks out there who qualify need this information. They need to know that that service is there for them to take advantage of. So I believe it could be promoted more. I know that it is sent out in the tax notice that you have information in that, but I believe getting it out outside of that mailing would be most beneficial.
Thank you. Ms. Ramsey?
As Ms. Taylor mentioned, it is sent out on the notification, excuse me, let me start over. It is sent with our tax notices. On the back of our notice, it's printed in detail, the way that the program works. And, this is a program that's provided by the state of Tennessee, but operated through the trustees' offices across the state. And every office has to accommodate the way everything is set up through the state. So, if they should choose that they want us to promote it differently, or if they wanted to pay to promote it differently, because it is not our program. This is a state program that we provide, and the county commission has to agree that this is a program that we can use in our office. And a lot of counties across the state have a tax freeze program, and Sullivan County does not have that. Any opportunity that we get to talk with someone on the phone, or that they walk in the office that we see are elderly, or I shouldn't say elderly because it's 65 and over, and I'm closer to that than I want to be. But we take the opportunity to talk with them and to ask them if they think that they could qualify. We work with the state as much as we can, because those forms are absolutely so difficult for a lot of the older people. And what we do now, especially since COVID started, we send out a note with those tax relief forms. Because if you're on tax relief, you get this notification, you get your form and not a tax notice. But we work with those people to make on the phone to keep them from coming in the office. And out of a little over 4,000 recipients that we have, this year we only had about 100 that had to come in the office, because we took the time to work with them over the phone.
Thank you. Do you feel the trustee's office should receive such a large monthly amount from the cities to process the sales tax that is collected for the state? For example, ladies and gentlemen, this processing fee amounts to $375,000 annually for Kingsport alone.
Okay, so when you say this fee, are you saying my commissions as a trustee or a fee that is deducted before the sales tax amount gets to our office?
It's the 1%.
Yeah.
The 1% is the
Of
trustee's
the
commission.
50%.
Okay, that is the
Yes.
trustee's commission, and that is something that is set up through state statute. I do not control that whatsoever. And again, I'm sure that somewhere along the way, years and years ago, this was something that was either collaborated through the state and the county commission or both. As far as the way we handle it, and should it be handled that way, I can't make that decision. That is, like I said, again, something that is a state function in the way that the property tax, the sales tax comes in. It is directly deposited in our account. We, of course, send it to the accounts and budgets for the way that they choose, the way that they have to separate it. And then it is our responsibility to write a check out to the cities to get their portion back to them. So I'm not sure how the state statute was set up. I would be glad to investigate this and find out what I can, but that is not something that the trustee chooses to do as a person.
Since that fee is set up by state statute, I don't believe there's a lot of leeway in what can be done. That would be something that the state would need to change if, maybe by basing it on population or other factors. So again, that would need to go back to the state on that fee.
Thank you. For our audience, I would also add that 1% is on the 50% of the local sales tax that goes to the city's general fund and the county's general fund. And there is no processing fee on the 50% that goes to the city and the county schools, just FYI. Thank you. And we now will welcome your comments and invite your closing statements. We'll start with Ms. Ramsey.
We've all heard the old adage of how things always look different from the outside looking in. And this is where my opponent and I are different. They're on the outside looking in, where it's easy to make assumptions and judgments without knowing what it's like to be on the inside. I am on the inside, where the rubber hits the road, doing the job that I was elected to do. I have 36 years of dedicated work experience with Sullivan County, and 34 of those years spent working deep within their financial operations. While preparing my last campaign, I knew it would be impossible to make statements about what I was going to change if I were elected. My predecessor had been in office for over 40 years and had obviously operated the office with great success. When I was elected, I had to take the time to learn and evaluate every aspect of the office and to decide what necessary advancements and improvements needed to be made. The use of modern technology was our weakest point. Through additional training, we now use our Trustee software to the fullest extent. We have incorporated the use of email into every function of our daily tasks, and we've gone from using green handwritten ledger books to Excel spreadsheets, and from walking in banking to utilizing online banking for our daily needs. I've had the privilege of selecting a new delinquent tax attorney. Her work and performance, along with her desire to be a steward of improvement for Sullivan County, has proven Stephanie Stewart to be an excellent choice for our delinquent tax attorney. As an elected official, one of the greatest responsibilities is that you have to be fiscally responsible while providing an excellent service to every citizen of Sullivan County. Every generation has their preferred choice as to how they pay their bills. We provide 6 options to choose from. No matter how or where a person chooses to pay their property tax, the work for my office is the same, as we have to post and balance every payment to every parcel. I have the dedication, the experience, and the knowledge to continue as your Sullivan County trustee. Thank you.
I agree with Ms. Ramsey. It is different on the outside looking in. However, I feel that I have a dedicated service to Sullivan County. I enjoy serving the people of Sullivan County, and I would like to do so in the position of trustee. Again, I have 22 years with the county and 14 of those years as executive assistant to the county mayor. In that position, I see a lot of angles from various offices, how it affects the county, so I do have some insight. I want to use my knowledge, my education, my common sense, and courtesy to benefit you and other residents. I want to be able to learn and provide you with better services. At the current time, I don't feel like county residents are getting what they deserve. The state has identified some deficiencies in that office, and it's time to fix the problem. And I feel I'll be your most competent choice for trustee. And I'm asking you to vote for me on May 3rd. Thank you.
And we thank our trustee candidates for joining us today and for their candidacy. And if you would like to take your seats elsewhere, we now welcome